He made it! It's week 2. I am so excited about everything that happened last week. It was great to learn more about you. I got to read a bunch of posts and I've got some emails. I had some phone calls. I did a bunch of texting. It's week 2 of Writing 121, and now we're going to be getting into it. So here we are in the Moodle. So you're probably going to be watching this, but maybe you could have somewhere else on your screen. Week 2 of our awesome Moodle shell open up. So let's take a look at some of these links here. Obviously, the first link is this video, the video that you are watching. It is this video. It is the Welcome to Week 2 video. The next link is, and that one's due Monday. Try to get in here. Just, you got 24 whole hours on a Monday to get in. So anyway, do try. Due Monday, the next one is Due Monday, Working with Our Own Sentences. It is a crazy video that I wrote a while ago. I made that video because I found myself delivering that lecture over and over and over again. And I just went, oh, wow. I had no idea. I did that 2 years ago. But I don't know. I wasn't even teaching. I've never taught this class online. I had some ideas, though, that I just wanted to streamline and actually share it with other people too, because I found myself saying similar ideas to other people. So it's kind of like a generic out there, like as though I'm talking to somebody who's not even in my class, but I'm talking to you. You're in my class, and I'm talking to you in that one. So that's working with our own sentences, and it's specifically kind of like about interviewing our sentences and going from our first drafts are going to have like small sentences, and then you examine them and you can ask yourself specific questions about some of the more vague terminology that you have included, and you can get so much more specific, and that often enriches your sentence. So, hi, writing content just happened, and I want you to know that, like, I try to keep it interesting. I had some kind of problem, but I could not pay attention, and so the way I'm teaching is kind of the way that I learned, and I liked it fast and interesting, but I also liked to see the thing itself. And by the thing itself, I meant samples of student writing that would work for the assignment. So last week, you've already seen, I'm going to glance back. I'm scrolling up. I'm going to glance back and see if I can tell. We read They Always Call You Miss last time, which is like this just profoundly beautiful and descriptive essay. And if you are shirking duties and not reading these things, there's not even a way to pass. I'm sorry, I hate to say that I want everybody to pass, but we've got to do all the reading here. No matter what the contract, we got to do all the reading, kind of feel it. And if we're not feeling it, pick up that phone and go, hey, Rusty, what do you mean by I don't feel it? But I'm feeling it. You should be feeling it with man, that's awesome. Read it out loud to friends. Read it out loud to yourself. She's still frustrated. She's so compassionate. There's so much going on there. So much that's deep. For instance, if we want to get really deep, we can ask ourselves, why does she choose to end it that way? That is wild. It's fantastic and completely unexpected. And it moves us from that environment of the inside of the restaurant to sort of the environment of humanity. And so she, of course, is ending it that way to add richness and depth to her essay. I'm not requiring us to write like the great Alison Clement, should she ever see this video. But I am hoping that we're going to be able to put beautiful sentences together and write a compelling narrative that helps somebody. Like, for instance, I hope people read that essay and saw themselves depicted in some of those description of bad customers in restaurants. It should make us squirm a little bit. That's where the lesson is. Nobody's reading for no reason. When I read an essay, I want to know, why am I reading this? What am I walking away with? And in the case of They Always Call You Miss, I walk away with a keener sense that I need to be kinder to my servers. And that's beautiful. So, then last week, just to kind of look back before we look forward, man, that medical assistant essay, holy smokes, huh? Right? Wow. So that was a wow one. Wow for so many reasons. So terrifying right now that we're, in the midst of our global pandemic. The notion of the medical health professional field is so pertinent to us and our situation, but all of those descriptions sound so real so real. And I ask a question in a forum: why do we believe this writer? Um, so that is what we have to ask about every piece of writing that we read. We have to read, why do I believe this? Is this a credible source? And there is something about that particular author who, she was there. I know that, like her use of details, her specific descriptions. That's a credible essay right there. And to have had her in my class is remarkable. The next one is example 2 for the narrative modeling assignment. We looked at that on Thursday, and I am opening it up right now so that I can take a look and be reminded of exactly student example 2 for narrative modeling assignment. And I will know, it's but with a smile, of course. And this one is another modeling exercise. It's not as expert as the medical assisting one, but this is the first time that I had a student kind of reply to me with this model, and that's what popped me over to teaching via this modeling. Now, I'm not going to be teaching via a modeling kind of paradigm this whole term, but for right now, while we're playing, we should be looking at the vetted essays that we're shown, and even the student vetted essays. If I'm sharing it as an example, well, technically speaking, the model is, they always call you Miss. And it's a model because of its the way that it addresses its audience, the way that it deals with details and description, the way that it very subtly offers up its message. Now, subtle is not a word that can be applied to my freshman college writer, Katie Larson, who wrote But With a Smile, to work for a transportation company and 1% patience. She was an angry person. Hooray! And so sometimes that's where our best writing is going to be. And this was, at this time, some of her best writing. There is a video. I need to go back into our Moodle area by pushing the back button, maybe, because I definitely got bounced. I'm going back to the front page of our week 1 to, no, I mean the week 2, so that I can take a look at, there's right, oh, it's this video about curiosity that I included. That's the next thing. So we have this video, we have a video about working with our own sentences, we have a video about curiosity that I made. It turns out that in the middle of making a video about curiosity, I end up talking about anger. And we can talk about anger without being angry. I think that, and I also talk about, I think it was very vitriolic. Do not show this to any high school K through 12 teachers. I'm joking. You can do whatever you want. I stand by it. I stand by that each term. So let's say that you and I were in a class. I would ask the question, how many people here had a negative experience with a writing teacher? Every term, 100%, hands. Hands all over it. And I mean 100% of the terms, not 100% of the students in the class, but often way more than 50% have had really kind of writer-killing experiences with writing teachers, with my colleagues, my beloved colleagues who teach writing, and yet they have done some mishandling. I call it mishandling. Sometimes I'll say, how many people feel that they were mishandled by a writing teacher? And very often it is a lot of people. While I was making the curiosity video, I bumped into that and clearly branded it more about curiosity than about this kind of anger feature that needs to be invited into our work. Now, right now at this time, I'm just trying to open you up. I'm trying to share wild information to you. Wild examples, like they always call you Miss, and what my students have done with them. And then the very next thing after this curiosity thing, so we have the Read Monday Week 2 guidelines for paper 1. That's the meat and potatoes. If you're going to pass this class, if you're going to get a B, if you're going to get an A, that's where the money is. Sorry, it's not money. It is what we call assessment in my field. It's how I'm going to know that my information is making it out of the weird mouth and into your eyeballs, and then it swirls around in your brain and it comes out through your writer hand or your typer fingers. Whatever it is, that's going to be due soon. And it'll be due. So if I'm assigning it right now, it's going to be due in week 4. We're going to have 3 weeks from today to work on that. I think week 1, I hope, I tried to structure that super easy for you, and I didn't hit you with a big set of guidelines. This time I am hitting you with a big set of guidelines. There's a lot of links inside the guidelines, and you should read those. There's more example papers in there. And again, I share with you a lot of examples of the kinds of writing that we do at this time in our college level writing class, because I want you to feel comfortable. I want to demystify with some of the things. My first, and I'm sorry to tell a story, but let's just say, hey, Risley is lecturing to me in an asynchronous fashion. I will. This is a story I tell a great deal. In my own first composition course, our instructor shared with us, I think it was called The Killing of an Elephant by George Orwell, who is like one of the all-time Shakespeare-level geniuses of writing essays. Certainly a profound literary figure, and she shares that, and she's like, okay, write an essay. I read this essay. It was about India, and it was fully descriptive. I didn't even know how to identify description. I am not sharing with you George Orwell's relatively complicated essay on there was noise, and there still is. People should notice that I'm over here making a great video, and I won't holler. I'll just stay focused here. Maybe I'll cut it out if I listen to it and it's too much. But anyway, just to get back, you could read Killing an Elephant if you want to. If you feel like super advanced, no, I want only the super advanced stuff that Risley was exposed to. It didn't help me to be exposed to that. I would have liked a simpler essay like They Always Call You Miss, and then I would have liked an armful of examples, and that would have helped me become a better writer. A lot of instruction about like the compound complex sentences compressed. I can't even do it. I mean, technically it's my job to do, but I don't like to do it. I feel like everybody's just going to die. How about if we just read beautiful literature and then just let it happen? Like, that's my feeling. I know it sounds wild, but the more beautiful writing you read in the form of, say, They Always Call You Miss, or some of the other essays that we're going to look at this week, the easier it's going to be to generate really good sentences. However, I do have to give some instruction about that. So I do have on Tuesday, it's just a little PDF that I grabbed. It's about simple, complex, compound, and compound complex sentences. It's like a page of a PDF. And no, it's not like I feel like I'm too good for that, but I'm too good for that. I'm going to open up your spirit, and you're going to get the simple, complex, compound. Search it up on Wikipedia, because anybody can talk about that. I'm about opening spirits. I'm literally about unscrewing the caps of people's heads and allowing them to achieve vaster things than they were capable of prior to having their head unscrewed. I know that sounds crazy, but trust me, you're going to write some of the best writing that you've ever done in your life in this class if you just stay focused. And then there's and this is why it happens. This is why, because instead of boring you to death with grammar, which you can search up, semicolon, 2 independent clauses, whatever, an independent clause, comma, dependent clause, or, even this. Why is it that we use a comma for that independent clause that begins the sentence, and then, following it is a dependent clause that begins a sentence, comma, and then an independent clause. But most often, if you have an independent clause that starts a sentence, it just kind of rolls out and there's no comma. Isn't that beautiful? I don't feel like talking about it today. I want you, what? Why don't you tell me that you want more of that, and I will make that happen. Trust me, I have a lot of videos that I have tried to make exciting about boring pieces of grammar. Although this is just our introduction, I'm going to click a little button and find out I've only talked for 14 minutes, and it's too long, so I'm going to quit talking soon. But I do have to tell you about Due Tuesday. Oh man. Okay, so we got like three things due on Monday. It's not, look, there's some of them are short. This discussion is a little bit long. I am trying to think of your time. Trust me. Anyway, just get in touch. Most of you have already texted me like, wow, you really do reply. Yes, I do. Due Tuesday, Sun Forum. I'm opening it up right now. Not that I don't remember what I wrote, but I just need to take a look. Everything I need to know about writing, I learned from the Sun. That's the darn truth. To be honest, no, I can't believe I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna show you the true, honest to God thing, and you should be frigging leaning into your computer right now because it's the truth. Like, people who talk about grammar are just like, it's like, so what? You might as well talk about paint. I I don't know. That's not what we're doing here. We're in the college level class. I'm sorry, but that's where we are. And anyway, so get this. So, okay, my shelf is messy. I don't even know what this looks like. I'm going to go over here and look and see. Okay, no. Here we are. It's cool. So you can't see. So my shelf is a little bit messy. Look at, do you know what? My wife and I met when she was 19. I was 22. I was also a child, pretty much. As a 22-year-old, I was very immature. So what are we looking at? So I've got like other books out. I'm teaching 5 classes. I'm teaching script writing and Shakespeare, and I got all my books out, but they're covering this ocean of books. You can read that if you can. It's Charles Bukowski. It's like 2 shelves of Bukowski, 2 total shelves of Bukowski, and just all over. And honest to goodness, everything that I needed to learn how to write, I learned from Bukowski, and so I have the 2 shelves almost as an I don't know. It's kind of a shrine. It's a shrine. I got a shrine to Bukowski. I want you to find the writer that you love in the Sun magazines. And that's why we have the Due Tuesday Sun Forum. And you will. You will find. But I just, so that you're not overwhelmed, because I have a link. It goes to a folder. And then you can choose from about 10 different Sun magazines. Oh, now I have to pause. Because I need to get a Sun magazine. So I'm walking to the other room to pick up the Sun magazines, and I'm thinking to myself, Risley, did you just say on video that teaching grammar is like watching paint? Or like, listen, I want you to know that when I teach a thing, I teach it in an interesting way. Obviously, I believe that grammar is important. I'm using it right now. But then again, so are you. You're already experts at grammar. And that's my point, is that grammar is a kind of torture we have to give ourselves anyway. It doesn't matter where you get it. Like, there are things that I can offer, like, say, I am the antidote to the 12 years of soul-killing boredom that K through 12 might have been for you. Now, bear in mind, you may have had an excellent time in the K through 12, and you don't need the antidote to the soul-killing boredom because you never experienced it. I did, however. I did. Do you know what? I will share this with you. I was so bored I had 2 felony arrests. In what we used to call at that time junior high. I think I was in 8th grade. So there. And I can't believe I just shared that. But you know what? I hope that I am building trust. Anyway, look. This is the Sun magazine. And this is the April 2020. And this is the May 2020. And you can see, so these are not, by the way, the issues, the folder of PDFs that I have for you. I got them a couple of years ago, probably. So they're not these brand new ones. If you fall in love with the Sun magazine, I strongly recommend that you fall in love with the Sun magazine. I remain in love with the Sun magazine. I just love it. It is a unique and beautiful magazine, but again, not only can you say everything I needed to learn how to write was in the Sun magazine, but you can say pretty much everything I needed to learn how to write was in these juicy things called the Reader's Right section. So it is my hope that when I open this up, it's so good, man. It's about the plane. It's look at that. There's like a big eagle head, and then there's like people who work. And look at that. I'm sorry. It's just incredible. It is an incredible, incredible magazine. And they are all on a theme. It is a critical thinking exercise sometimes to figure out exactly what that theme is. But very often we can figure out the theme by looking at a little section in here called The Reader's Right. And that you can always find. You open it up, and right inside on the first page, and I'm going to try to verify this, you can see issue 536, August 2020. This is what's called the table of contents. And I am having to read backwards, but I can see that The Reader's Right. And yes, I crushed my finger when we were camping or something. Reader's Right. And, oh, that's wild. It's about work. So did you hear the first thing that I said? Like, duh, right? Are you getting it? So I was just kind of free associating. Part of writing is about free associating. I'm trying to loosen it up, man. We've got to mellow out. Writing's not math. And for my math majors, I love you, man. But you often come in, you're like, what's the math thing? And I'm like, I don't have a math thing about it. You know, I really don't have a math thing. There is actually one math thing, and I can't think of it right now, and I don't want to like bore you with me trying to think about it. I have actually found like one super awesome math thing. I think I made a video in the Interested in Interesting Person project, and you could look for that one. But it might have to do with listing. I don't remember, but anyway, we're going to do that. Okay, so for our week, I need you to go into the PDFs and just look through them. So the Reader's Right section is always just a few pages long, and Reader's Rights themselves are very short. If you're like, oh my gosh, this guy wants me to read, I hate him. Don't hate me. I know what it's like to hate everything. Trust me. I hated everything before you were born. I really did. I really did. I was a punk rocker. I hated everything. I did. All right. So we're on the work. The first page of the work does not illustrate my idea very well. Everybody's a little bit too self-indulgent on that first page. But here, just to show you, these ones are actually longer. This is one Reader's Right, here and here. And they're usually even shorter than that. Let me see if I can find like some super shorty pie. Here's a shorty pie. So they're usually about this long. They're just little shorty pies. And we can learn a lot from that. We can learn a lot from the way that they use sentences, frankly, the way that they introduce ideas, the way that they include description. These are all the features of narrative. And our paper, he said, going right back to our week 2 class of our class, our paper, that Read Monday week 2 guidelines paper, is a narrative. And I don't necessarily describe what a narrative is. I show you a bunch of narratives and you piece it together. You're going to feel good. And remember, hi, I've already replied to like 40 texts from just this one class. Look, there's no text right here. Do you want to know why? Because I'm hitting them like Papa Moles, man. It's a wild term. I'm so happy that everybody is in this class. I hope everybody's having a great time. And you need to commit to me right now as you look into my beady little eyes. You're going to hit those links and do the reading. And you know what? When I say read out loud, reading is a skill that our society, to its detriment, does not feature. You know what? They have like competitions of, the ball throwing and the beating in the head and the smashing in the face with the MMA. I know, I'm crazy. He turned into an old man. Yes, he did. No, he didn't. I love MMA. I watch Formula One, as a matter of fact, which is like super cool. But all those things, they're not featured, and so many of us don't have that experience. So as you look at the PDFs about the Sun, you're not going to believe it. And frankly, I can't even remember what was in those Sun magazines. In fact, I know that there is wild, crazy stuff in there. It's hair-raising. If you're like a sneaking, 16 or 17-year-old who's on a program or whatever, remember it is a college-level class, and I'm not allowed to like discriminate. I gotta just like, everybody's 18 in my mind. So yeah. So read a bunch of those, and if you see something hair-raising, please pardon the Sun magazine and me. Now, if you get bored and you start reading short stories in there, you would definitely see things that are hair-raising. Most of their short stories are super hair-raising. Why would I even mention in a class about nonfiction and reliable sources, which we're not getting at just yet. We will, trust me. We'll teach all of that, teach you that academic writing stuff. But for now, I'm just trying to kind of open you up and see what's under the hood. Like got a V8 in there, straight 12. What do we got? You get to encounter yourself in a new way. That's what this essay is going to do for you. There is one very special example in the guidelines that has to do with the way siblings treat one another. And I need you to make sure to pay very, very good attention to that, because that's also an excellent modeling opportunity. So, it's just more to put in the hopper of your spirit. And, okay. I don't really know how long the whole video is because I had to stop it and then restart it, but it's long. My apologies. I tried to make these Monday welcome videos a little bit shorter, but we had a lot to go over. There's a few more videos, some more material. Enjoy this week. Get in touch with me.